Today we're changing the front brakes in a Hyundai Venue. Let's check it out. So before we get into this, let's talk about the tools you want to gather up. You're going to want a ratchet with a 14 and 17 millimeter socket, a pry bar, an impact driver with a Phillips bit, a bungee cord to hold your caliper, a wire brush and a file because I live in the Rust Belt, some copper anti-seize, some ceramic brake grease. I'm going to use a piston compressor as well, and my impact driver with a 21 mil socket, a 3/8 Milwaukee electric ratchet to help out for some speed, and finally I'm going to use my purse to beat the rotors off. Who doesn't love getting a free magnet when you buy car parts? I know that's a reason that I used to buy a lot of stuff from Rock Auto, but brake parts are so heavy and shipping was so expensive, I had to find something different. Enter PartsAvatar.ca. They offer the same brake parts that Rock Auto does at a higher price, but shipping is free over $100, which ends up saving you money. So if you're buying brake parts, check out PartsAvatar.ca. So once you have your tools, first thing we're going to do is jack up the car. Now, definitely use jack stands to make sure it's stable because we're going to be beating and pounding on this at times. And with the wheel off and everything removed, here are the parts I'm using. So I'm using some Geotech Uquality Rotors. They're fairly cheap, but they do come coated as we live in the Rust Belt. Here's our part number. And I'm also pairing them with some Bosch Quiet Cast brakes. These have been excellent value for the money and they're quite high quality. So I use this combo on a lot of the vehicles I service. First thing we're going to do is remove the caliper with our 14 mil socket. So just in these two bolts here, the upper and lower, we'll remove those and then I'm going to use my electric ratchet to speed up the removal process. With those bolts out, we can just wiggle our caliper. There's no pins that are going to get stuck in the piston. Wiggle that off and set it aside. Next, I'm going to take my pry tool and a hammer and beat one of these pads out because again, they are seized in because it's so rusty here. And I'm going to use that pad and my piston compressor to squeeze the caliper piston back in. Now there's a few schools of thought here. You could just squeeze it in like I'm doing, or you could crack the bleeder and let the old brake fluid go out and do a full brake flush. But that's not how I'm doing it. I'm just going to squeeze this back in and go from there. Now when you're compressing the piston back in, make sure the rubber isn't flopped out full of air. That might cause it to tear and then you'll have a seized caliper later on. With the piston put back, I'm going to hang the caliper with our bungee cord on the strut so it's out of the way. Next, I'll take my pry bar and a hammer and again beat out this pad that's seized in here. This is the main reason the brakes need to be serviced. The rust just builds up so badly and it grooves and seizes everything in place. Also, the pads are getting pretty low, so it's time. I like to set the pads where they came out, inner and outer, so I remember how they go because sometimes they get set a certain way. We're also going to take a 17 mil socket and get rid of these caliper carrier bolts. They are quite tight compared to the caliper mounting bolts, so just be aware of that. With the bolts removed, the carrier should just fall away. Our next step is going to be removing the rotor screws that hold it onto the hub. So we're going to use an impact screwdriver for this with a Phillips bit. You push it in, turn it to the left and apply some pressure and whack it with a heavy hammer, and it's going to apply an impact-like force, driving the screwdriver tip in, but also twisting. If you used a regular screwdriver, or even possibly a drill bit, it'd probably strip the screw out. These impact drivers are cheap and work amazing. I've had one for a lot of years, and as you can tell, this thing has had a lot of use. It's gotten me out of some pretty sticky situations. Now, this is not everyone's favorite thing to do, but in the Rust Belt, it's what we have to do. We are going to beat this rotor off. Give it a few glove taps in the front back sides, and once it pops free, you can pull it off and we'll check out our hub, which honestly isn't that bad. But I'm still going to give a quick wire brush here just to get any loose rust off. If you leave some loose rust behind it, it will definitely cause your rotors to be out of round, and you'll probably get some warping pretty quick. And again, because we live in the Rust Belt, I'm going to be applying copper anti-seize to the hub and the screw holes to prevent seizing in the future. This means the next time a brake job is done, if it's me or if it's not me, whoever will do it is going to have a much easier time getting those rotors off and getting those screws out. Now, one pretty cool benefit of using a coated rotor is that there's no oil applied from the factory. So you can actually direct install these rotors as long as you're careful about touching the surfaces. You don't have to, but I enjoy putting the screws back in. The wheel will hold the rotor centered and flat, so it's not necessary if they've stripped out, but if you want to, definitely put the screws back in. Now moving on to our carrier, we're going to pop the old clips off, and again, since there's so much corrosion and rust that's formed, I'm going to use a wire brush and my file to remove some material so that the new pads will slide more easily. I do think, like on some pads you buy that are cheap and Chinese, you may need to grind the ears because they don't fit. But Bosch pads, I've never had the problem where I've had to grind any ear material away. It's mostly been a corrosion or rust or flaky metal that I just need to file a little bit more away and the pads fit perfectly. I think I'd rather file a little bit away here than be grinding the ears in case they get loose later. Another important step is greasing your brake sliders or your caliper sliders. If not, these can get seized in place, but just because they get seized does not mean you want to use anti-seize. Please use a ceramic brake grease to lubricate these. They're usually silicone from the factory, and if you put anti-seize in, it's going to mix and create a glue, which will do the absolute opposite of what you want. So use a ceramic or silicone based brake grease, lube these pins up and slide them back in. I like to do these one at a time so I don't mess up the position. Usually there's a pin that has a rubber damper on it, and that's just to reduce brake noise. Sometimes it's on the top, sometimes it's on the bottom, but I don't want to mess it up, so I take them out one at a time, and then I'm guaranteed to not mess it up. The next thing is our brake hardware, the new stainless that Bosch provides. So we'll just push that in place, clip it in. It can be pretty firm, so just watch when you clip it in. Make sure that it's fully bottomed out. That is a problem that I sometimes have, where it looks bottomed out but it's not, the pad doesn't fit. So get these installed, and then you can take your new pads and install them. So don't forget to apply some brake grease to the ears. That'll make them slide more easily. I also like to rub them together just to get any material off before I install them. So with the pads preloaded into the carrier, we're going to reinstall those 17mm head bolts. I'll tighten them up with the Milwaukee ratchet first and then finish them off with some torque. Usually these are torque to yield, and I'm sure that these ones are, but a lot of us have successfully reused these bolts many times. So if you're concerned about that, go buy a new set of bolts, replace it every time. If you're not, I'm sure you'll be fine, just tighten them down nice and tight. Click. Click. Now we can install the caliper, and we'll line it up with the bolt holes. You might need to push in the slider pins if it's caught. And then again, we're going to reinstall the 14mm head bolts. I'll tighten them down with the ratchet, and I'll go to final tighten with my actual ratchet. Man, doesn't that look nice? All we have left to do is put the wheel on and do the driver's side. It's the exact same as this side, so just rinse, repeat, and you'll be good to go. Of course, when you're putting these wheels on, make sure you tighten the star pattern. So wherever you start, just keep going across and across and across and across. Tighten them up that way, and then torque them to 88 foot-pounds when you're done. Well, folks, that's all for this week. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again next time.